I think the skills that blend best in my practice would be my ability to... I have a very strong... I really like history and performance, and the way I've come to performance is from a painting background when I started doing action painting at art school, and I think that as I developed that, I found other ways of looking at performance in terms of... I looked at it from a theatre background and from like a... what's it called? The meditative kind of background, and I found there were so many different approaches to performance, and I think one of my skills that I've like learned throughout my practice is like being able... I'm really interested in combining a very historical way of looking at performance, but also like looking at how it like can be, how we can redefine it, how we can look at performance pictorially as well as gesturally. So I kind of... the way I call it myself is like a performed photography or a performed sculpture. So I suppose the skills in being able to perform, but also being able to look at the aesthetic and how you make up an image, from like a modernist perspective as well as like postmodern and all those kind of things. The main things that I wanted to do is look at ideas of thought in motion, going into different altered states, and really playing with my materials that I've like chosen to research. So the main themes that I explore are femininity, masculinity, resistance, physical, because I came from a very I came from a swimming background. That's where I came into a very like repetitive work ethic, and I think that through like feminist discourse and like resistance and the experiences I've experienced, the resistance I've experienced as a woman has always really driven my practice. And I read a lot of feminist theory on, and I think in as well when you look at the tropes between feminist theory and also feminist art and performance art and like what it means to be. So my work is completely research based. I've always been like that. I've always researched, draw, then perform. So in my video works, so I've not done a lot of live performance. I've only ever done workshops, and I've done a bit, but they've only been like 30 minutes or so. They've never been like big grand things. So what I really want to concentrate on is, I've started researching materials already, but I am for some reason obsessed with very feminine objects. So I want to particularly research and understand why I like them, why I want to play with them, what I can do under space, what I can do under time, and just like very simply explore how I can do an action for an hour and how I can use that material under an hour and play to just kind of like devise and understand. So the best advice I've ever been given is don't over practice and push your material beyond frustration, doubt and what is expected. So what I found so frustrating is that I was obsessed with this idea of challenging re-performance, I got so obsessed in research and that like I want to reinvent performance, that I want to understand how is it different from theatre, how can I like make myself do something chance, and I was like, so I became so like overwhelmed with materials, but actually to just strip everything back and really just go with the moment, go with something and that's what I've been really working on trying to do, and really like working on my body being just as important as the material and pushing. So I personally think that art is so important in contemporary society because it's always given me the voice to, I think challenge is the main reason why I do what I do. I've always, particularly if I haven't agreed with something or if I haven't liked something, I've always found that doing performance or doing video, it's like given me the freedom, I don't know if freedom of expression is the right way to word it, but I think that I always kind of feel the kind of time and space and time to be like, that's not actually right, this is what we should be discussing, or it allows you to kind of like niggle or like push past frustration, and I think that is important because then that will, as we talk about things that are not necessarily like right or should be not, you can talk about taboos or things that are not, people don't really want to hear, and that can like contribute to life existence and culturally and things like that. So I think that's why I like to do what I do.